Welcome to a new edition of the Uplift Start the Week, where we discuss subjects relevant to us women in an open and respectful manner. I am your host, Chani Schreibhand, founder and editor of the Uplift Jewish Women's Magazine. Hi, today's guest is really special. Her name is Malya Fievelson. I got to know Malya in a very interesting way, and I call it my LinkedIn family, and she became part of it. And Malya is the owner of Malya Cam, which is a really interesting thing, which we'll be talking about a little bit later. But she's also known for her podcast called Hebrew Hits. And I think you just have so much going on, Malya. It's not just that. So before we say anything, let me just introduce your voice to everybody. Say hi, Malya.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I usually am the one interviewing people. So this is like fun to do, get a little interviewed over here.
Yeah, so that's really what it's all about. I find that the whole social media, the whole podcasting, it's all about getting to know each other and seeing how we could all relate to each other. And I think, Malya, how I got to know of you was through a very good, one of our mutual friends, also a LinkedIn friend, and her name is Rosalie Schatzman. I still have to get her on here. And Rosalie introduced me to you, and she goes, "Did you see what Malya's doing?" And I took a look, and I thought, "Oh my God, this girl is really rocking it." And what I wanted to talk about more than anything is, this challenge that you gave yourself. And I'm not going to say to anyone what it is, because I feel that it's so important for you to explain it in your words. What was the challenge? Why did you start it? Where did it come from? Etc., etc., etc. So let's start with the first thing. What is the challenge?
Okay, so this is going to be really fun. I'm going to take everybody back to 2020, okay? When I still had a kosher phone. I was like adamant on not getting a smartphone. I'm not going to succumb to this like thing that everybody is losing their life to. And I was adamant about it. And people were like, I don't understand. Why don't you have a smartphone? Why don't you have WhatsApp? Just get a smartphone already. And I was like, no. But as the years went on, my kosher phone literally stopped working with, like, I went into Verizon and they're like, this doesn't work. So I ended up getting a smartphone. To this day, I barely have any apps on my phone. I have no social media besides for LinkedIn. I have LinkedIn, I have YouTube, but I literally have no apps.
Do you even have WhatsApp? I don't even think you have WhatsApp.
I don't have WhatsApp. No, I don't have WhatsApp.
Really, I mean, I'm sending you messages longhand.
Every
good at this. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Everything on this phone is literally like
what you need for
no WhatsApp. Anything to help me build my business, but people are like, can you just get WhatsApp? And I'm like, I don't know. I did have WhatsApp and my sales went up by 45% when I stopped using WhatsApp. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stop using WhatsApp. And the people that really want to get in touch with me will get in touch with me with WhatsApp and without WhatsApp.
100%.
Anyways, when I first got a smartphone, obviously downloaded WhatsApp. I'm like, obviously I have to have WhatsApp. And somebody that I was interested in interviewing on my show actually video called me, and I was like, what is going on? Like, how is your face here? It was very like, I was like, well, why are you video calling me? Anyways, he challenged me to get onto LinkedIn, and he said, do you think you're going to make it bigger than me? And I said, well, if I get on LinkedIn, I know I'm going to make it bigger than you. And he said, okay, well, let's see. So the challenge was at least get onto LinkedIn and see what happens. So I posted one video, and the way that I came up with this day challenge, I'll explain what it is, but there was a different guy on LinkedIn who, when I was lurking, just to see if I want to post.
Let's just explain what lurking is, because not everybody here understands the LinkedIn concept. So LinkedIn is a business to business platform.
Yeah.
And it really does help businesses grow, definitely. And what it means to be a lurker is that you sit in behind, you look how it works, you follow people, but you never get involved in any conversations. So I think most people lurk for a year and a half. But yeah. Malya, where did you go? No.
So, right. So I was just like looking around, like lurking, right. And not liking and not commenting. And I found this guy on LinkedIn who gave himself a 12-day challenge, and he did day number 1. day number 2. And then after like day number 12, he stopped. But I looked at it, and the first thing that I did on LinkedIn was I posted my first day number 1 on LinkedIn. And I said, if he gave himself a 12-day challenge, let me see if I could be on LinkedIn for 12 days. And after 12 days, I'm done. Cause like, I don't know LinkedIn. I don't need to be on LinkedIn. And what happened was extremely surprising. And this is why I'm not on any social media platform but LinkedIn. The first post that I ever made was during 2020 when nobody has anything to do. I am a interior designer by trade. I went to college. I got a degree in interior design. So I decided, why waste my time during COVID? Let me redo my parents' house. So I redid the front door. I scraped it. I did everything. Like literally, I took that paper, the sandpaper, I sanded it, I painted it. So I said, okay, I'm moving on to the foyer. And so I started sanding it and doing it. And the first video was me painting my parents' house.
That baby.
You were following me back then?
I was still following you then. Yeah.
Oh my, were you lurking or following?
I think then I was still lurking.
So that was my first ever video.
Wow.
Yes. So I was painting my parents' house, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to build up for 12 days, and I'm an interior designer, and I'm looking for a job, whatever. So I remember I made this post, and a guy messaged me on LinkedIn, and he said to me, there's no way your post is getting 2,000 views. Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah. And I responded, my post is going to get more than that. And I remember I woke up the next day, and I'm used to Instagram. Like maybe you get 18 likes, maybe that's good. 20 likes is good. I had over 50 likes. I had tons of comments. I had over 2,000 views. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew that if this is how LinkedIn is, and this is how the community is, they're supportive.
We go viral, right?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm staying on this platform. And then from there,
really,
I was like,
I think all your challenges. I mean, Malya, what do you do? So every morning you wake up and you.
oh, you want to ask me that question?
And you.
Okay. So let's say, for instance, today I woke up at 6 something in the morning. I had a meeting by 7 a.m. The meeting was 2 hours long. I prepped for my event. With my partner for the event, Zlati Polter. And then I ate breakfast quickly. I davened. I got dressed, ready for this interview. And then I have a whole list of things to do. This is only because I'm an entrepreneur. That means that I do not work for anyone. I work for myself, but if I don't put in any time or effort into anything that I'm doing, it's not going to happen. Yeah. But if you want to, I can continue that, or I can quickly get back to the 12-day
I want
challenge.
to know, so how would you set up your day to make sure that you get in a challenge that you're going to take a picture from that day or a film or something?
Oh, okay. So good question. So the way that I was doing my content for the first year was every single morning I would wake up and I'd say, what inspires me today? And I would quickly like get dressed, put a baseball cap on. Oh, I always have baseball caps in my studio. So my branding is wearing baseball caps. Now I'm not going to wear this the whole interview because it makes my face a little bit dark, but my branding is the baseball cap. So people know that when I make videos, I wear baseball caps. And the reason that I did it that way was I wanted to stay a little bit more hidden than putting myself out there. So I felt if I wear a baseball cap, I'm still a little bit hidden.
Very smart, actually.
Yeah, and it became like part of my brand.
It's who you are. Even when I met you in America that time, you were wearing it. It was just like part of who you are. Yeah.
You know why? Because Rosalie told me, she's like, you're gonna go meet people for the first time. You have to wear a baseball cap. So I started wearing caps. But really, I would wake up, I would choose a cap that I liked. And at that time, when I was starting to wear caps, I had manufacturers sending me caps. I have a ton of caps because I have Port Authority. I have like tons of caps because people sent me them to try on. Yeah, because it was my branding.
Yeah, it's a brand. They're using you as an advert.
Yeah, but they didn't even have a logo. It was just a plain cap. Like, please wear this, whatever you'd like. They just liked that was my branding, so they sent it to me. But I literally was like, what am I going to be talking about today? Now I do things very differently. Now that I'm like 2 years in.
Yeah. How many days are we up to?
We're up to day 566.
What kind of hurry? Yeah.
Yeah. By the time this airs, it will be longer. But like really what I was trying to do was I said, Malya, if you want to be anything in life, if you want to accomplish anything, you have to teach yourself how to be consistent. And the way I was teaching myself how to be consistent was through LinkedIn videos. And in the beginning, like when I was painting those first few weeks, I remember my siblings laughing, "Are you making another LinkedIn video?" But now the effect that I have made on the LinkedIn community is incredible. And they see that you just need to put a tiny little bit every single day. If you're consistent with a tiny little bit every single day, you can make a difference. I have people message me how I inspire them, how I saved their life. Like these are, and not just how I saved their life emotionally, how I physically saved their life.
I could
A girl
believe
told me
it.
a girl
I
told
think
me
that
huh?
I think the whole idea of seeing you every day in whatever capacity you're there, I think it's a steadiness to some people. People who
Yeah.
are depressed or people who need, they say, "Oh, she's there. Look, she got up. She did this." It gives you a continuity every day. I think that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Thank you. And actually, one day I woke up and I was like, I do not want to post today. Like, I don't feel happy. Like, I'm not going through a good day. And my friend called me and she said, Malya, you always talk about how genuine you are with your audience and how you're always trying to inspire people. Not write, make a video about how you don't want to make a post today and talk about why you don't want to make a post. And I got so much support. And the community that I built is so amazing and so supportive. I reached out to somebody yesterday if I could schedule a meeting with him. And he said, wow, you're the living LinkedIn legend.
Okay,
And
now
I was
you
like,
have
what?
it's because there are other people doing it, and there's a lot of Jewish people doing it. But I just feel that your whole message comes across totally different. And
So can I interrupt you for a
yeah,
second?
yeah.
I'm actually curious to know, why does my message come across? Why am I considered the queen of LinkedIn when there are so many other people
I think
doing it?
because you're actually really genuine. I don't think you come across as selling a business. You're not coming across as pushing, put every 5 minutes. Oh, I can make you 5,000 pounds in 2 minutes. That's not what you're all about. I think you really are about a genuine lifestyle. And I think people have warmed to your nature. You're very, very, you're very, first of all, you're young. Second of all, you're giving. I really enjoy watching what you come up
Thank
with.
you.
And I think
And
also
and
you're always moving forward. You don't just stay in one little corner. I'm only going to do my 300, my days. You
right.
have other things going on. I think you've appeared in a few different things. You had the the questioning one. What was it? You had a
Debates.
Yeah, you had a debate. You had a few things.
So I'll tell you, it's really incredible how many doors LinkedIn has opened up for me. I've been on Newsmax. Now Newsmax is a very highly respected news channel. It's a cable channel. There's over 70 million people, 70 million people who are subscribed. They reached out to me. I didn't reach out to them. And they
That's
said, we want to interview you. And I was like, why? I've only been on LinkedIn for like 6 months. Like, what's happening here? And they're like, no, we want to interview you. They put me on the internet, right? On the stage in front of 70 million people with the lieutenant governor of Virginia, the first ever Black lieutenant governor,
wow,
female, the first ever Black female
wow.
lieutenant governor. And I, little me, right, 24-year-old me or 25, and I'm like, what's happening here? Like, what is going on? But they found me. And it all happened from LinkedIn. I had my own networking event before I turned 25. I had 200 people sign up to it. I was on LinkedIn also for 5 to 6 months. People showed up, and now I started doing debates. What I realized was that I am moving forward if I look back, but I'm continuing to do what I'm doing just on a broader scale, right? Like my podcast started, Hebrew had started from like a conference call. You dialed in and I recorded it. Then it went to Zoom. Then it got better Zoom. Now I have an in-person studio. Now I'm doing live events. I'm interviewing someone live on a full stage with over 500 people that can be in the audience. So I'm continuing what I'm doing. I'm just building on it. It's very
Oh,
important to
yeah,
continue building.
building on a concept. I find LinkedIn, especially, I mean, I don't know how many people who are going to be listening to us are from the business world, but if you are, I mean, LinkedIn really was what created my magazine.
Yeah.
Really, I went
Yeah.
onto LinkedIn and I told my story, which was about my mother and everything. And within 3 weeks, we had a full magazine of articles, and it was all done, you know, from the nicest of people's hearts. And look where we're holding. We're on our, going on to now our third year, which is just amazing. That
It's
was
amazing.
all done through, LinkedIn. And I think LinkedIn has a very big Jewish community on it. And I think that is because it doesn't have the pitfalls of a lot of the other ones. But let's go into the part that there are pitfalls. So,
Oh gosh.
Malya, how do you cope with the pitfalls of LinkedIn? Because
Okay,
there are.
so I hate to say this, but because I like to remain positive usually, but the biggest thing that is hard about LinkedIn is that sometimes there are men that send inappropriate messages or red hearts, and these are men that are married, and it's very uncomfortable for me. So I have come to terms with the fact that I just go to their name and block them. And I know who these people are, and I still see them popping up on LinkedIn, and I'm like, you would never know that that guy sent me an inappropriate message because I'm not going to promote their name on LinkedIn, but I see them and people are buying business from
I
them.
must tell you something, that between the firma community on LinkedIn, there are people who will say privately, do not follow this person because this person has been sending awkward messages. And I think it is important that all the firma women do this. It's not Lashon Hara, because at the end of the day, it could become something that's inappropriate big time. So I
No
think
one ever told me. I have not shared, and people have never told me any
there
specific
is, I've
names.
had it a few times that someone said, has this person bothered you? Be careful. So
Wow.
yeah, I think it's important to
Wow. I had a very, very someone very, very from, I hate to say this, but he was older, married, very from like looking, and he sent me tons of red hearts, and I was like, this is weird, but like I was so young and I was gonna make a
yeah,
sale. I
yeah.
felt like all that matters is like, oh my God, I could make a sale, I could create content for someone. That's what matters. And he kept saying how he wants to meet me in person. And I said, well, if you do, I'm bringing my brother along because I don't meet men in person by myself. And he said, no, we have to meet in private, just us. I said, I don't meet
Okay,
men.
we
I said,
got
I
the
don't,
message.
yeah, I was like, I don't meet men in
I
person by
think that's
myself.
what's important about this conversation is showing how we can make a Durham. How do we make borders that we shouldn't be trapped into this? So, like you said, you would never go meet somebody without somebody with you. I mean,
Yeah.
Malya, I'm going to say it here because I hope somebody will listen and have something. But Malya is a single girl and she is looking for a shidduch, and she's a great, great, great girl. But how do you, it's really hard for you. So what do you do to give a gather? How do you make these
Yeah.
borders?
So for instance, I went out to Muncie, and this guy, I was like a little like off putting with him a little bit. I wasn't sure. So my brother was anyways coming along with me to Muncie, and I said, you're coming with me to the business meeting. Now I didn't warn the guy before. And some people would say, Malya, you're so unprofessional for bringing your brother. But I walk in and the guy's like, your brother's here? I'm like, yeah, I don't meet with men privately by myself. And he's like, okay. My brother sat in the meeting. He just listened. And then it was like, what, half-hour meeting? And then we left. And I felt more comfortable just because if it's like a female, I don't care. But if I'm meeting with a male and I don't know you from a hole in a wall, and I know you from LinkedIn, and I'm going out of my way all the way to you to go meet with you, and I have anyways, why should my brother wait in the car when he could meet me in the build? Like people
100%.
may say, people may listen to this podcast and say, Malya, you're crazy. Like, why are you
No,
doing that?
actually, I really think it's important for any person. I always say, even when you're having meetings, I'm married for many years. I'm not by any chance your age. But um, when I go to a meeting with a gentleman, a man, or something, I always will make sure that there's somebody else in the building or that the door is wide open. And I'm very open about it. I always say, don't even, it's not even if the person is going to do something. That's not the question. The question is that the person should be able to even come up with the fact
Yeah.
that, oh, we got up to, but you can't because there was somebody else there. I have ADIS. I think
Right.
it's very important to make these Gedarim, and I'm very, very big on that. So that's really good to see that and I
I
know,
also have another one. I
yeah,
know that the Gedarim is if a lady is married, you don't call the men don't call her by her first name. But I have men who are my age who reach out to me for meetings. I don't call them. Let's say a guy's name is Abraham Landau, for instance, I will not say Avi or Abraham. I will say Mr. Landau
And
to his face.
that's smart.
Even though he's my age, I will
No, but
not.
I think it's very important you're
Yeah.
making together, and he knows that that's together. He's
Yeah.
not
And I'm like, yeah, exactly. And I used to have a lot of men call me up and like tell me things that are going on in their lives and like, can I help them? And the problems that they're having in their marriages. And I'm like, listen, I am promoting,
we
like,
are.
I'm trying to give you hope, like I'm trying to be like supportive, give you hope and show you that like you can live a good life and a happy life, but I'm not a therapist to take care of your problems. I'm not comfortable dealing with this. So,
And then it's a problem. This is a problem. I mean, we have to all know that there are problems on all social media platforms, and we cannot say that the Rabbanim put these things out for us for no reason. There's definitely reasons, and this is if we're using it for business. Obviously, we have to know what the Gedorim are. So that's that conversation. Because
but I do want to say though, I do want to say that the goodness of LinkedIn outweighs the negative because the amount of support and friendship that I have. I'm friends with you. I'm good friends with Rosalie. And like we went out to lunch the other day and
I was so jealous. Yeah.
you know, she's just so sweet and supportive.
Sure. No.
Well, we could crop you in, but I'm saying like the group, it's so supportive.
Definitely.
LinkedIn is so supportive that it's a platform that you don't find. I can't explain it. Like
So
if you're on
LinkedIn is one of the best platforms for a Jewish person if they're going onto platforms. That would be the best. It's better than all these. I mean, TikToks and all these. I mean, I'm a little bit on Instagram for the magazine, and I definitely see a massive difference. And
do you find that Instagram affects your mental health more than LinkedIn?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, I had it now that my whole page was hacked, and it was like a real blow. I put in hours to it, and I have to start all over again. And I'm thinking, is this really worth it? You know, what comes out of it? Whereas on LinkedIn, I wouldn't say that because I know what comes out of it. I've had so many great friendships, as you say, and I've had so much. I like I said, the magazine really grew from that.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, I'm not on any social media platform because I can't. The second it affects me mentally, I'm off and I'm done. I was on Instagram and I felt it was toxic, honestly.
It is it's a very different life. Yeah.
And I also felt like on Instagram that people are out for themselves constantly, that like it's all about, if you want me to make a post, pay me for it. Like it's all about themselves. On LinkedIn, it's a community of support.
Yeah.
And you don't find that on a social media platform.
That's why I find this on LinkedIn that people will share, even if they're in the same businesses, they'll share, oh, I did this, I did that, which will never happen on another platform.
It wouldn't. I reached out to someone who you would think is my competitor because what I do is I brand people on LinkedIn. You've never used LinkedIn, come to me. I help you with your banner. I build up your account, give you a content strategy, get you going really, really, really quickly. And my clients are really, Baruch Hashem, they're thriving. But you would think he's a competitor. I have his number and he was like, ask me questions. I reached out to him one day and I said, I just want to let you know that I just davened for you to be successful. I said, and he's like, whoa, thank you so much. I'm like, there's no competition here. Like Hashem is going to give the business to you and Hashem's going to give the business to me. Like Hashem is in charge of the money that we make. Why should we feel there's competition?
I agree with you. I really do. And I think it's really good. And I think the whole way you handle the whole, the ins and outs of LinkedIn is really, really good. Let's go off this LinkedIn, and let's do personal now. Okay. So let's just do a little bit more. Malya, where do you come from? Where are you?
So I'm from New York. I do talk in an English accent sometimes. So for all the British people who are listening, hi everybody. I do have the Queen's birthday. I never got to have tea with her, but
Okay, you're still waiting. Okay.
Well, she's dead now.
Right. And where do you live? Which part of New York? Brooklyn?
I live in Cedarhurst, New York.
Cedarhurst. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. And did you, when did you go to college? How did that? You went to SEM, then you went to college?
Yeah, I went to seminary, Benos Chava, and then I came back and I first worked. You'd be shocked, but I worked in a preschool for the first year. I feel like all seminary girls, when they come back, they work in a school.
Job, yeah.
So I worked in a school just to figure out like what I'm doing for the first year. And I happened to like, I really, really loved the 30-minute break that I had. And I got to talk with all the Moras. Like, that's why I went to work every day. I didn't love, it wasn't a place for me, like a classroom setting, but then from there, one of my friends was like, "You're going to college." I'm like, "Why? Like, do I need it?" Like, I was always entrepreneurial minded, but she's like, "No, you're going to college." So my friend printed out an application. She sat me down. She goes, "Fill this out right now and let's mail it." So without that friend, I probably would not have gone to college. I went to college. I got a degree in interior design.
Do
Um,
you still do that as at all, or
So I don't. I do design like my parents' house. I did the dining room. I did the foyer. I did part of the kitchen that we just redid. I did the front door, but I don't necessarily do it any like it's not something I love. I didn't feel there was a purpose to it.
right?
There was
So
no
now you're
purpose.
really into doing this social media, helping other businesses grow through social media, and developing your own brand and your own.
But it's not even social media. It's not social media. What
No,
I'm
I
trying
mean
to do,
LinkedIn.
yeah, I know. What I'm trying to do, the reason that I have this business for LinkedIn branding is honestly because I had a lot of people reaching out to me and I would give them hours for free. Literally just give them and give them and give them knowledge about LinkedIn. And I'm like, I'm so busy. I was overly stressed, speaking with people all day. And I said, you know what? I'm going to charge for this. People are coming to me. I have to charge for this. The reason that I'm building this part of the Malya cam is because in order for me to get to my real goal is to make some money on the way.
That's
So this is for me to make some money, honestly, so that I can achieve my real goal, which I want people to see that there is a better life out there for them. They could achieve any dream. Hashem gave you a talent. Use your talent. Just because people push you down for it doesn't mean that's the end of the world. It just means that you're in the wrong environment. If people don't appreciate you, like I was on Instagram, I felt like garbage. I was not in the right environment. I'm on LinkedIn and people like
they
call
love
me
you.
the queen of LinkedIn. People call me the queen of
They
LinkedIn. Like,
love you. We
yes.
love her.
So I'm saying you have to take yourself out of those environments that you don't like, that you don't feel good in and that you're not thriving in. But my real goal is I really see so many kids and so many like people who are just not kids, I mean like teenagers who are not happy, don't have purpose in life, and they're not thriving. And
I
you
think
know,
very good that you as a young person have, a firm young girl. You keep to all the halacha. You always sneer stick. You don't, you're not running around,
yeah,
playing around.
exactly.
Yeah, you're not doing that. You're really straight up who you are. And I think that's really important. And as
Yeah,
we're coming to the end, I want you to afterwards, like, make sure to give me all the details. I'll put them underneath
yeah, thank you.
the podcast so that we could
Yeah,
get in touch with you. And
thank you.
if they have a
Yeah.
sugar. Anyway,
Thank you. If they have a shidduch, please reach out. I'm looking for just
yeah,
a good, nice guy. If I can just share one more point,
yeah, please.
the reason I realized like I give hope to people. I went to it was Dollar General. I was on vacation and I literally went in to like pick up like a quick snack or whatever. And there was a girl there and she was discussing like how hard her life is. She's a baby. She's only 24 years old. And I'm like, you're younger than me and you're struggling so much. I told her, let me get you on LinkedIn. Give me your phone number. Give me your information. I'm going to help you get a job. She came around. She was crying. She gave me a hug. I posted that video on LinkedIn. It went viral. And two people reached out to me offering her jobs. And
Wow.
she called me up. She goes, you saved me. She's like, I was in an abusive relationship and I finally got a restraining order on him. And I'm trying to now get control of my kids because of you. And this is a random stranger, not Jewish,
That's amazing.
random person in literally 6 hours away from my house.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
crazy.
And I think that
Um,
that's what it's all about. We all
yeah,
try in our own way to uplift. I have to get my name in someplace.
yeah,
We have to uplift each other and make sure that whatever we're doing with with Hashem behind us, and we
yeah,
know who we are, and that's really,
yeah,
really important. And I'm just going to have to end this because I don't want it to end on us because we have a certain amount of slatted time. But I really, really thank you so much for coming, Maria, because you are fantastic. And I will have you, of course,
mhm.
another time. You'll be appearing in the next magazine with an article, which we're excited all excited about. And I can't wait to see you again. And I can't wait to see everyone else again when we come back for another time of Uplift Podcast Start the Week. See
This
you.
was amazing. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.